As we spent the last week testing our business continuity plan, gradually migrating our office staff to remote locations for social distancing, it was nearly impossible to have a conversation with anyone about their annual goals. Everyone was focused on the anxieties of today. Now, obviously, we can't think about our long-term future without focusing on the short term, right? Wrong. Our long-term future is paramount. And our short-term issues, with all of the chaos we're experiencing, will sort itself out. Though it doesn't feel that way. For investors, this crisis feels different. Unlike any previous correction, which were largely caused by financiers and bankers and policymakers, this one was catalyzed by a virus. And unlike previous corrections, which didn't immediately affect the average Joe and Jane in the street, this crisis disturbs us on a physical, emotional, economic, and even social level. As a result, the level of collective anxiety and stress levels are now through the roof. And since anxiety always shrinks our field of vision, it is incredibly difficult to maintain healthy perspective and make thoughtful decisions. I'm getting questions from people who have no need for liquidity if they should sell everything. People who are generally thoughtful planners are questioning whether they should abandon their long-term plans. These are perfectly normal sentiments as we're currently sitting in the eye of the storm, especially one that we're experiencing on so many dimensions. All our media channels have become this one homogeneous and dramatic echo chamber. Entire companies or even economies are temporarily shutting down. Our social and recreational worlds are being reduced to WhatsApp and Netflix. And on top of that, we're paranoid about having COVID-19 and not knowing about it. And the markets seem to be butchering our investments. The feedback loop of this situation is overwhelming, and to some, even apocalyptic. So many people are fearing and feeling that this time is truly different. And the reality is it's true. This hasn't happened before. Outside of regional wars, entire economies don't typically shut down. People aren't typically restricted to their homes. And all asset classes don't typically go down together. Though every correction, almost by definition, has something that makes it different. Otherwise, we would have been prepared for it and it wouldn't have triggered the correction. What stays the same, however, is our behavioral biases, our natural impulses to overreact to short-term events, our strong sense of loss aversion, and our instinctive fight or flight response. What also stays the same is the fact that we will ultimately get through this. The coronavirus will eventually be dealt with. Entire economies will not shut down forever, as no one stops feeding their children out of fear of a virus. And when businesses reopen, markets will bounce back with extraordinary vigor. One day we'll likely reflect on this time as opportunistic, perhaps even wondering what all the fuss was about. Naturally, it's hard to see and feel that when we're in the eye of the storm. So for the time being, please avoid any rash decisions. Just stay healthy, stay calm, stay thoughtful. We will see better days ahead.